because it's difficult until we get to this crossover point. It's challenging.
Yeah. But yeah, it is challenging. And it like I say, it's weighty because it's a very weighty mess. We're talking a gold standard here. Like, everything that's happening in the world right now is happening within us.
Yeah.
Everything is collapsing for the purpose of a rise.
That actually was something that we talked about this morning that we wanted to share with you guys. I mean, I know that Ken just went through a lot of detail on his notes, but something that we were discussing this morning on our walk to bring clarity was, Ken has said several times about collapsing words in order to fill them up. And I don't know if you guys have caught him saying that, or you've been kind of wondering, like, what does he mean by collapsing words in order to fill them back up? And did you want to add more to it? Because we have kind of two different ways we see it, but mine, again, through the letters, I can share, and I've shared it before, but I'd like to bring clarity to it if you wanted to share what your aspect, what your thought was on that.
Well, this again, the Spirit shares this, that I don't care what word you present to me. I don't care. You can take the wickedest word and give it to me, and I can collapse it down to neutrality and fill it back up in innocence. That's all based on perspective of where we are. It doesn't matter. There's nothing in this world that is not beautiful to me. Nothing. It's solely based on my perspective. And this is, the language shows us that if you see correctly and you see that you're fully restored, that's how we know we're restored, because we see everything. This is how I know to keep my love. I'm keeping my love for my family, but in compassion I share, right? Until I meet with my family in totality, and now beyond measure. But I can take any word, and when people say a word, and that's just the word, just as there's a word, right? It's just filled up as a container. It's just say head, right? Or just, well, I like using the word disgrace because it already has a negative connotation to it. But it only, again, when you collapse it, it's just mean go find grace. You're going to have to fill up disgrace. Disgrace means distanced from grace. And so, but yet the world has already preformed it and pre-filled it to say it's an act. It's, you've done something that's disgraceful, and now we're feeling the weight of shame. We're feeling this burden of what this word is now filling up, right? But no, but I didn't connect with the action. I didn't give it power to fill it up to that potential. So I render it all void. The language allows us, by concentration, I condense and collapse everything for the purpose of refilling for the greater's intention. I practice that. I live that. I am that. I take all my thoughts captive and collapse all of them, and I fill them back up when I partner with the innocence of potential. When I see this, I'm like, oh, this is magic. This is amazing. And I fill it back up with the wondrous sign of a child that would simply just be whimsical. Like, my feet are on the ground, but my heads are in the clouds. I live in the clouds because I am the clouds. I'm a vapor manifest here. Voila, I am magic. And so I simply do that. I simply close everything down, and I reconstitute through my compression, my vapor of realization, my thought process. But I have to know what the word is telling me. This is why I experience it as a relationship, as an intimate relationship, because the Spirit's all around us as that vapor, and I can go one way or the other. That's all okay. But I fill it back up. I give it the power. I give it the authority. I redefine it. And so when someone speaks it to me, like, what word are you speaking? How are you speaking it? Why are you speaking it? And who's speaking it, right?
So in my perspective, as a more earthly, practical sense, not saying that Ken's isn't, but in order for me to grasp a hold what he was saying, I had to see it through the letters to see how to neutralize something, how to collapse something and to fill it back up. So I'm going to show you through the building segment of the letters to show what Ken was saying for me to grasp a hold of it. If you guys have a lot of more masculine energy, maybe this will help you. If you got more feminine energy, you may have been able to gravitate towards everything that Ken just shared. And maybe if you're a balance of the tool, you'll see how the two merge. Ein Vav Lamed is a word that means unrighteousness. It is transliterated, and you could hear it as it's spoken as evil. And this is the word for unrighteousness. but it is also the same exact word for a suckling babe. A suckling babe. A same spelling. And so when I was looking at that in the system of duality, going, wait a minute, okay, so a child as a suckling babe is unrighteous? Like, what? You're going to call a child evil? See that going, sure. It's somebody that's on the milk that hasn't grown up yet. Of course it is. So anything that is seen in unrighteousness means they haven't grown up. They haven't matured. They know not what they do. Now, collapsing it in order to fill it back up. Whenever you get a word within Hebrew or Aramaic that has a quote unquote negative connotation, because this is why Ken says he can see everything as beautiful. He knows this, he's done it, he's collapsed it, he's filled it back up, he's neutralized these words. When you're in a polarity situation of strong judging, you can go ahead and shove that aside and say that person is evil, that person is unrighteous, that person, and you keep distancing it from yourself. In order to neutralize it, the letters will tell you exactly what you need to do. How do they do that? Ein Vav Lamed. Ein Lamed means to ascend. We already showed that. Ken was showing the paperwork. He showed you Allah, the fig covering Allah, to assist or to mature, to ascend through the stair steps. You guys remember that word? And he showed that it was a process of going up steps, and it meant to ascend and to be the highest. This is giving you the resolve. It is saying that to get out of being a suckling babe, to be considered unrighteous, when it's written, connect to your heart. The Vav is right in the middle. Connect to your heart. Then the letters will say, to see and know the purpose, the fountain within. When you connect to your heart, it is going to instruct you. It's going to teach you how to be one who ascends out of being a suckling babe that's on the milk of the mother. So every letter is going to tell you how to neutralize. And that's the only time I'm ever going to use that word tell. The language will tell you what you need to do. You saw that word tabneath, the blueprint. The blueprint is through the language that'll tell you exactly what you need to do in order to neutralize things, instead of being stuck in a system of duality where you're judging something as evil or something that's immature when they know not what they do, when the whole point is see and know the purpose of connecting your heart because it's trying to teach you. Does that make sense? So every word will give you the blueprint of how to flip the polarity of it, how to change it, how to neutralize it so that you can come up higher. Every single word.
And there's two ways to see this. Again, that's why we use as and at, because I can look at it as unrighteousness and say, you need to know to see how to experience and expand your heart through the teachings. That's how you redefine righteousness. But righteousness knows and sees the expanse of the heart because they are the light of the teaching as it.
Yep.
So I can collapse it from a perspective of looking at it, and then in light speed, I can fill it up as it.
Yep.
That's how we do it.
Yep.
That's magic. I see its potential in the innocence of its gaze. I see what it is asking, and I fulfill its response by answering in likeness and kindness.
By doing it, becoming it.
By doing it. That's the beauty of the language. It will produce in measures where we are in our moment. That's all it can do. And we will see what we need to see in our moment until the next moment is given. By inculcation, if we keep on walking, it's asking us to experience intimacy. Most of us are intimidated with that because we can't even gaze upon our own reflection without judgment. But if we look beyond the mirror and call ourselves forward, it will reveal the depth of who you are. There has to be a willingness, though, a desire and a longing for the depth of that to be revealed in yourself. This is you looking back at yourself and what is it saying? And please hear me in this. It is okay to stumble. It is okay to fall on the word. It is okay to say, I cannot see. In that humility, I will promise you this, it will encounter you. It is waiting for you to put aside your pride and your ego to think, I know a thing, let me tell you what it is. And it will say back to you, you know nothing, you are naked and blind.